Hi everyone. Welcome to Dr. G's Dandelion Monologues. I'd like to invite you to reflect on a sense of purpose. What is your purpose in life? Have you thought about that lately? Sometimes I hear people say, well, I go to the doctors, or I do this, or I do that. Well, what is the goal? Not the to-do list, but the goal of your life. Why are you on this planet? What do you think your life's mission is? That's the sense of purpose. And a sense of purpose generally is not a person. Oh, I'm here because, you know, I love my partner or my family, blah, blah, blah. Sure, but they have their own sense of purpose. So it's more like something that helps us keep going and embodying this sense of purpose. So what is it? What is it that's beyond all of that? The common thread of your life from birth until death, right? Because people come and go in our lives. But the sense of purpose is usually something a little bit more consistent or stable through time, although it can take different forms, right? But is your purpose to make this world a better place with small, tiny, incremental gestures? Is your purpose trying to shed light to some of the mysteries of life, right? Is your purpose to be a better person every day? And what I mean by better is more aware and awake and conscious, so that you become a model for others. Because we are our main life experience, and we are the main subject in the study of our life. So that counts. So it doesn't have to be complicated, right? Is your purpose to make sure that people have joy in their life, whether it's by creating a great meal, by planting a beautiful garden, by teaching younger generations? That could be a purpose, right? As we get older, especially, the generativity stage kicks in. And I feel that's probably part of my purpose, right? Is for me to make some of the life knowledge that I've gained so far or received available to others in a way that's understandable or digestible. So in that sense, I think I'm maybe a messenger in a way, because I like words, I like writing, I like teaching. So we are all messengers. It just takes different forms, right? For me, it's an obvious communication, communicatively driven aspect, but for some people it's just by being themselves, by enacting something, not necessarily by explicitly expressing something. So what kind of messenger are you to go through life as you live your purpose? Because a sense of purpose makes us want to get out of bed every day, you know? And it's something that's gonna, again, go beyond any loved one's death or pet's death, right? Because if we say, well, I get up in the morning to feed my dog, well, your dog might die before you. So what's gonna be your purpose after that, right? So that's more like can add meaning. And these are kind of overlapping concepts, right? But goal, meaning, purpose. But the purpose is always really like the more long-term direction. It's a trajectory. So what is your trajectory? What do you want it to be? It's never too late to ask yourself that. And in fact, you can do something called the Ikigai, which is a Japanese concept that means goal or life purpose, right? So you can look at the intersecting aspects of your life, such as what you love, what you are good at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for if you want to make a living out of that. What I mean by living is a tangible living, right? But it doesn't have to be. But the closer to the center of these four overlapping circles, the closer you are to your life purpose. So I wish everyone could live in purpose, you know, purposefully. And a purpose is meant to elevate. It's nothing destructive. There's no purpose in someone wanting to amass more wealth just for the sake of, while there's so much famine, suffering, injustices, exploitation in our world, right? As we work towards our purpose, we are also able to realize the enoughness and the abundance in the enoughness and the gratitude we have for it. So when I'm talking about purpose, I'm not talking about aberrations or something that looks noble on the outside, but there is a destructive aspect to it, which makes the whole thing hypocritical. So no, a purpose is elevating everyone and making everyone feel whole, and a purpose elevates human dignity. So this would be my definition, yeah, of a purpose. And it doesn't have to be grandiose. It doesn't have to appear in the news, in the headlines, right? There are people who live in, you know, in a retreat or in behind the scenes, or yes, they're not in the spotlight, but they're still having a life of purpose, because what they do is for the greater good of humanity. Each gesture becomes an act of love towards humankind and nature and earth. So that's, to me, living in purpose. And if that fills your heart with joy, that's usually an indicator that you're on the right path, because joy is pure. You know, we experience that since early childhood. It's purity, it's light, it's our nature. So do something that reconnects you with your true nature. Thank you for joining me today. Wishing you a life of purpose. Take care. Be well. And namaste.